Okay, I was cut off, so I really can't remember where I left off. But I think it had something to do with if. Oh yeah, it went along the lines of if you don't have Titanus but you have Megazord and Dragon Zord, what's wrong with you? Are you sick in the head? And I mean that, you know, joking around, kidding, dry wit type humor. It's if you can't afford one, I can understand that, but this is definitely a must for any person's collection. If you are a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fan, then it's a no-brainer why you should have it. If you are a Power Rangers fan in general and you're only looking to complete one Ultra combination, this is it. This is the only Ultra combination that you will need. Uh, I will be reviewing the Thunder Zord sets, and I will be reviewing the Ninja Zord sets, but I won't be doing that for a while. One thing that I promised to get out of the way was a comparison review between the the two Megazord sets that I have, because I have an original first issue Megazord, and this is like a revision second issue Megazord. And I notices some differences, some very subtle, but they're differences nonetheless, and I'll try to get those up as soon as I can. But as a recommendation for anyone who grew up in the 1990s, anyone who had some piece of this toy line, this is great. I was one of those kids that actually had the entire set as a child. I had Dragon Zord first. He was my first. Then I had Megazord. Megazord I got when a store closed down, and I got him for like less than 20 bucks. And Titanus was actually found in my attic not too long after that. I think I was about 9 or 10 years old when I finally got the entire piece assembled for the first time. No one in my neighborhood had Titanus that I know of. My friends certainly didn't have Titanus. So even though we were all growing out of Power Rangers, it was still an interesting piece to own. I mean, when you're 10 years old and it's the year 1997, 1998, you're supposed to get out of the whole toy collecting. I never did. My friends did. But when I revealed that I had Titanus, it was like, whoa. You have Titanus? I was like, yeah. Yeah, when we were cleaning out my attic for the yard sale, we found it, and my dad wanted to sell it, and I was like, no, I want to keep it. So, he let me have it, and I put it all together. It looks huge. So they all came over to my house. I had Titanus and Ultra Zord already set up, completed, and I was like, here he is. And I'm like, wow. Does he move? And I'm like, oh yeah. So luckily he had batteries in him at the time. Uh-oh. There we go. So you just, actually, the switch is on this side. Yes, I had it the wrong way around. So there's this little switch here that you pulled out, and then he went and he started rolling, and everyone thought it was so awesome. They all wanted Titanus at that point. Even though they had just grown out of the series, they wanted Titanus. So it was nice. It was really, really nice. And then after I completely grew out of Power Rangers, he just packed him up in his box, and he stayed in my closet for the longest time. And it wasn't until I moved down here to North Carolina, oops, maybe I shouldn't have said that, but when I moved away from the house and I was packing up all the toys and all my collectibles and everything like that, and that's when I noticed that I still had my Dragon Zord, my Megazord, and my Titanus. So even before I moved, I put it all together. I made sure that everything still worked, the chest plate, the batteries on the other side of Titanus. and everything still worked perfectly, just the way that I remembered it as a child. And then when I came back down here, when the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers revision started happening and going on, and the brand new Megazord was released. That's the box, of course. Here is the revised Megazord. It brought like a brand new nostalgia into me, and I got down these old guys and I put them together again, and it was a blast. It was like, you know, it was like I was 10 years old all over again. Or in the case of Dragon Zord and Megazord, I was 7 or 8 years old. But it really brought those tears to my eyes, and I finally understand why all these Transformers collectors and the G.I. Joe collectors get so wide-eyed in their reviews when they're reviewing classic toys or the brand new toys that were based off of the classic toys and the new movies and everything like that. Because now I can finally understand what these guys were going through. I was babysitting my neighbors, the 2 little children, and they were watching the original Power Rangers, and even though it had the automatopoeias and the lousy cartoonish effects, it was Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and they got a kick out of it. And I got him a little Green Ranger, and I got her a little Pink Ranger, and they just loved them to death. It was just amazing to see a child from this generation, 4 or 5 years old, just loving to death what I grew up as a child. So that's it. That's all I have to do just to sum up everything. I'm so happy that future generations are loving, even if it's not so much the big phenomenon that it was in 93, 94, and 95. It's still wonderful to see that there's still an appreciation for the old school Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And now that there's a big nostalgia, these guys have actually risen in prices in the secondhand market too. I remember I bought like I said, this isn't my. This is my second Megazord. My first Megazord and my first Dragon Zord are actually in my garage in a toy bin. These are ones I bought off eBay. I actually bought this Dragon Zord for $75, mint and sealed box, and I bought this Megazord for about $90. That's like cheap now, considering that mint and sealed box of Dragon Zords and Megazords go for like $200 to $300 a piece. And forget about Titanus, he's like $375, $400. But this is the original Titanus I had as a kid. This is the original guy. And I'm actually starting to tear up now. You can probably see I'm starting to choke up a bit. So I'm gonna end this review before I really start to get out of control. But I will be doing a comparison review on 2010 Megazord to the 1993 Megazord and the both 1993 Megazords that I do have. So until next time, this is the Stuttering Toy Nerd, and keep on collecting.